Yes, you can see. Hello everyone, my name is Edward Daniel and welcome to Ethie Vegan. Today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Kris and Jen. Is that right? Yeah, from Nomad Northlings.
We need a t-shirt that says
you do. It's quite a mouthful. Nomad Northlings, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're both from Scandinavia, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm from Finland and it's not really a part of Scandinavia.
Is it not?
No,
The Nordics.
it's part of the Nordics. Yeah.
Different
Like,
okay.
Yeah, but I say Scandinavia.
And you've been travelling now for 2 months.
Yeah.
Haven't you? And you're on this amazing journey around the world, and you've been to Nepal, haven't you?
Yes.
And now we're in Indonesia, and you've just been to the Bali Vegan Festival. Yay!
That was amazing. That was amazing.
And now you're just travelling around. So what happened? How did it all come about?
Yeah.
So we just met 8 months ago, roughly 8 months ago.
Through Tinder.
Yeah, through Tinder. But each had our own ideas and plans for traveling full time, leaving our old lives behind, and just go on a new adventure. Then we met and found out that we both wanted to do that, and then we just joined our paths.
Now your meeting is very interesting because it wasn't really Tinder. It was the fact that you messaged Jen over Instagram, and then met, and you were both independently going to the Cube of Truth as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, isn't that amazing sort of synchronicity?
It's the universe showing us,
Yeah, it
the
was
way.
meant to be.
Yeah, I guess so as well. But it's kind of what do you call when something is supposed to happen? What do you call it?
Fate.
Faith, yeah.
Destiny.
Destiny, it must have been, because I was definitely not expecting to meet anyone, and I didn't even want to have anyone in my life, and then you just showed up. So I guess that's how it works.
There's more of a story, a bit of background story, but through that you're both vegans, in fact, aren't you?
Yeah.
Really. So
Yes.
you've been vegan for 3 years and 2 years. So
Yes.
what's your journey to veganism?
Well, my journey was through health, actually. I have always been doing a lot of sports, and I felt that it was easier. I felt better when I didn't eat any meat, and then I just gradually started cutting off my diet. But I was vegetarian for almost 10 years, so the reason why I became vegan was that I saw a documentary called Earthlings, and yeah, it just shocked me a lot. I was crying a couple of days afterwards, and I really felt that I cannot participate in that kind of cruelty towards animals, not anymore. So since that day that I saw the documentary, I've been living vegan.
And what about you?
Yeah, and for me, I was completely ignorant about anything related to veganism. I've never heard the term, not really, and I never really thought about it. Then I saw a conspiracy. After having quit my old office job, I went on 3 months vacation, reevaluating everything I was doing, all the decisions I did in my daily life that was just out of habit. I was reevaluating, choosing to and from, and I saw conspiracy, and I was like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
is this really going on? Is that how meat ends up in the meat counter, and how dairy ends on the shelf? I was like, I'm not, like, since I'm doing this, choosing to and from, I was like, this is off limits now. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
And then, so I did it for the animals originally, but just like Jenny, I do a lot of sports, so I could immediately feel, once I started eating completely vegan the next morning, after a week I could already feel that I was having so much more energy, I was recovering quicker, and I was just such a good feeling in your body, and I think in your mind as well, spiritually, that you're not supporting this anymore. And then, yeah, it was just like taking in so much new information, reading online and seeing all the documentaries available, and then it was like a no-brainer. Of course you should be vegan.
Now you mentioned the Cube of Truth. Cube of Truth is a form of passive activism.
Yeah.
What's the benefit of going or participating in that sort of activism?
Well, the biggest benefit is for the animals, I guess. From my part, I felt like after seeing Earthlings, I really felt that this is a message that more people need to know and hear about. I myself didn't have any idea what was happening in the dairy and egg industry before seeing that film. So I was obviously also doing a lot of activism to my friends and to my family before I joined the Cube of Truth for the first time. But yeah, I sort of felt that it was my duty to do that for the animals, because if I would put myself on their position, I would like someone to speak for me as well. So I didn't really feel like it is a choice for me to do it or not. I just have to do it for their benefit.
Mm. And how does the Cube of Truth actually work? What happens?
So you meet at a certain location. Usually it's a pretty populated location where there's a lot of pedestrians that walk by, a lot of foot traffic. Then you set up, depending on how many activists show up, you set up a square that is facing outwards, where people have either signs or TV screens or laptops showing footage from the animal agriculture industry. Then you have, so they're just passive. They have Guy Fawkes masks on and do not do anything. So they don't talk to people, they're just standing as a pillar. And then there's outreachers around the cube that will observe the people that come by, and if people step up and show an interest in the footage or look like they're appalled or something like that, the outreachers will go and reach out to them and ask how do they feel about what they're seeing, do they have any questions, is it shocking to them, did they know this was going on, and then you just build a dialogue from there on. And the ideal thing is for them to leave with an open mindset towards trying out a plant-based diet or going vegan. So they get like a business card with them that has more information that they can pursue later on in their day or the following day. So it's mild, and it invites you to come and be curious. So it's not like a lot of people say, oh, you're forcing your beliefs on us. Here it's more inviting them to come and see what's actually going on, see the truth. And then hopefully they'll be, in tune enough, like with their core values and emotions to want to investigate more.
Mm. Yeah. Do you think there's a change going on worldwide in terms of veganism and more sort of a realisation of what's happening in the dairy and meat industry? What are you seeing?
Definitely. A huge change. You know, we both have lived in Denmark, in Copenhagen, for 7-8 years, and it's, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, you wouldn't have found any vegan products in the supermarket. So I guess if you were vegan at that time, you very much made your patties yourself, and you know, it needed more work to do the chains maybe. But nowadays it's like new items are popping up every week, and there are many vegan cafes and restaurants, and the same thing is also now that we are traveling around, we are seeing vegan cafes and restaurants everywhere.
Every restaurant has a vegan item.
It's not a problem for us at all. Even in Nepal, which was quite surprising actually, but there were many vegan restaurants to choose from.
They have soy milk, they have almond milk, coconut milk.
Yeah.
So easy.
And actually, we even in Nepal we attended their first ever animal rights march.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was quite cool.
That must be so amazing.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Nepal.
Yeah, you should.
It's on my list.
We love Nepal.
It's on my to-do list. Now, when you actually met and you responded or looked at Kris's profile on Tinder, you saw that he wanted to go travelling. I mean,
Yes.
what was the attraction there?
Yeah, he had like written this to do before I die list on his bio.
A bucket list, that's what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, bucket list. That's true. So basically all the points which were like, he was eating plant-based, vegan, which is even more strong word for that, you know, kind of philosophy, and wanted to, you know, one day maybe save a shelter dog and build an eco community somewhere, travel the world,
live on a boat,
live on a boat,
live in a van.
There were just so many things, you know, these crazy kind of things that have been on my list as well, and I was like, I've never met a person who had a similar list to mine. So it was very, very interesting to me.
Yeah. Now, so you both gave up your positions, or you both decided to travel up to 2 months ago. I mean, how has it been? Obviously, what sort of challenges have there been? What three things can you think of for that person who's maybe wants to make a change, a mindset, and is a bit scared but doesn't know? But what three changes or things can you recommend for somebody who wants to give up everything and go travelling?
Okay, I would say the first thing is, like, a lot of people have this romantic idea about it, but I think you really have to, the core, to want to do it. So, like, you have to be clear with yourself, like, of the things that are involved, like, in doing it. Like, you have to sell everything you own, realistically, like, to raise the money to support it. And that you have to say goodbye to your family and friends for a really long time. And whether you will be doing it alone or with somebody else, you also have to balance that, like, can I be that close with who I'm traveling with? Or am I okay being that alone in a different country, outside of my comfort sphere? So I think you really have to, like, feel deeply within, is this something that I truly desire? And if you do that, then you should start acting upon it today, because tomorrow is just a day that you wasted before you actually get to go. So that's one thing, at least, like, really be 100% sure that that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the same. That's the first point. And the next step would be then to just setting it as your goal, and you know, trying to figure out the ways, how are you going to get there, that this is going to be your everyday life. For me, from my personal experience, I haven't even, now that we're already traveling, I haven't even now got there 100%, because I haven't, like, got a full-time job that I earn enough money on to, you know, to continue living this lifestyle. But I did the conscious choice with it. So I was saving money before we started traveling, and now I'm living off those savings. At the same time that we are traveling, I'm trying to educate myself in online marketing and social media, in blogging, and doing translations, nutrition as well, and yoga. There are so many things that I would like to do, but I'm not quite there yet. I haven't quite figured out yet what will be my thing. But I have like 6 months to do it, you know, until that my savings will run out. So this is, you know, this was my goal, to use these 6 months to figure it out. And if it will, I think one of the very important things to, you know, understand is as well, that if I will not succeed during these 6 months, what is the worst case scenario, what can happen afterwards? For me it is, okay, then I have to go home at my mom's and live there at her attic and figure out what to do next. So, but at least I will always know that I have tried, I've given it a chance, and I will not give up. Yeah. I know it. I already love this so much. So,
yeah, but I think that's the other thing is actually with sometimes we're so scared or fearful about life that we don't take the plunge, and then we have regrets at the end of life. And I think that's the important thing. The important thing is actually to act upon things when we have intuition, we have feelings, and we want to do something. It's not to have regrets.
Yeah, exactly. I have always tried to motivate myself by thinking that when I'm one day very old and you know, lying in my bed and knowing that I'm going to probably die very soon, how will I think about my life when I, you know, reflect back in time and think about the things that I have done? Will I lie there and think that I always wanted to travel but I never did that? Will I be that person? No, I don't think so.
But I think that's a big thing today is fear. So there's a lot of introduction of fear to people to keep them where they are. So without this sounding like a tinfoil hat or conspiracy theory, then obviously the rules of society is, for society to work, you have to have workers, you have to have structure, you have to have people that don't just leave and go about.
And you have to have conformity as well. And conformity as well.
Yeah. So there has to be some kind of introduction of sort of fear into the population of like, if you go do these things, it's dangerous, or you won't have the money to do it, or there's no safety net, you can get hurt, or whatever, insurance. So there's a lot of things that will keep you away from doing what you really want to do.
Yeah.
But once you actually do it, you realize that all of this, most of it at least, doesn't really have any ground.
It's illusion.
It's illusion. It's to keep you sort of supporting the system back where you are.
It's a lot about what the media is showing to us as well. You know, if you only watch the news in mainstream media, you see a lot of war, you see a lot of you know, accidents and bad things that are happening around the world. But you know, and I know people who are, you know, hindered from doing what they would love to do because they believe that it's dangerous out there, and you know. And we have been out now 2 months in Nepal and Indonesia, and all the people we meet are the most friendliest people in the world, and so kind. And
to be honest, we traveled a lot. Like before this as well, we've always been traveling, both of us, in our own right. So it's not new to us, and we know that the world is not like it's being portrayed in the media. Obviously, these things are going on, but it's in confined areas. So as long as you know that you shouldn't go into the middle of a combat zone, then I mean. It doesn't mean that the rest of the country is bad, or that the people want to harm you. So make the decision with yourself. Am I going to do this? Then plan for it. And then I guess step 3 has to be execute.
Yes.
And once you're executing, don't get stressed out. Like if things are not working out from day one, or if you're met with some obstacles, don't stress out about it. Like try and take a deep breath. Be rational, be sort of also proactive in your thinking, like how can I manage things? It's not the end of the world if your luggage is lost, or if you lose your passport. Just take a deep breath, assess your options, and then try and make the best of it.
There will always be challenges. You know, no matter what you do in life, there will always be challenges, and especially if you're pursuing your dreams, there will be challenges. But once you have passed them,
you'll have so much fun while you go through them.
It's amazing because Martin, who's my videographer and photographer, we went to Raja Ampat a couple of weeks ago, and I remember going there, and we arrived at the airport. And I hadn't booked any accommodation, and I didn't know where we were going to go. And we just arrived at the airport in Sarong. And for him, he was getting. I could feel that he was getting really agitated and really tense about the whole situation. And we just arrived at the airport, and I beforehand, before we arrived, I did a lot of meditation. And I was thinking, you know, universe, just guide us, just make sure that we're protected and everything's going to go all right. It was really funny. As soon as we came out the airport, the taxi driver said to us, "Do you want to go to the port?" So it's like, "Yeah, we'll go to the port then." Yeah, we'll go to the port. So we arrived at the port, and then there was a ship, and it was like, "Do you want to go to Wasai on one of the islands?" I said, "Yeah, let's go. I'll get there." So right to Wasai, and there was a case of we hadn't been accommodation. So it's like, well, what sort of accommodation would you like? Where would you like to go? So we contacted all these. We arrived at the tourist information, and then from tourist information, there was various accommodations that were being suggested to us, and suddenly it was a case of actually all of them seemed to be booked. And then the one turned up, which was free, and you arrived at this place, which was half an hour from the centre, and it was a hut on a jetty overlooking the sea.
No, wow.
And it was, I don't know whether you've seen any of our videos together, but it was the most idyllic paradise ever. And we had our own roofs, and we were just on the waterfront, and there was like all this coral reef that was like 20-30 metres away from us, and it was just a beautiful place. And that was all about trusting the universe.
That's how we travel as well. We don't plan very far ahead. We plan the destinations, but we don't plan what to do and what to see. It's not like we have a long checklist or like an itinerary. Because that's how I feel at least. If you do that, then you lock yourself in. And if you miss out on something, if you're skipping a deadline, or if you, I didn't get to see that thing, then you start getting negative energy. So on the contrary, if you have an open itinerary and you're just open to suggestions, talk to the locals, where should you go, then it's always just a joy.
Yeah.
And that's how we travel.
Yeah, and that's always the best thing to do when you arrive at the destination. Just ask the locals, because they will tell you where you should go and what you should see. It's much better than doing research on Google.
It is, and some of the information's not even there. So I always find it's best. I remember I came here a few years ago to Bali, and I arrived at here in Ubud, and I didn't have any accommodation. And again, it was late at night, and I was doing lots of prayer and doing lots of meditation, and I said, universe, just look after me. And I remember getting out of my taxi, and as soon as I came out of my taxi, somebody said, are you looking for accommodation? I said, yeah, I am. So I found this idyllic place right next to the river, and it's really nice.
Wow, amazing.
So it's just like trusting and not being fearful about things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's very good advice.
Yeah.
Because fear is not ever going to take you anywhere nice.
Yeah.
You could say it that way.
So what's the future for
Nomad
Northlings?
Maybe we should change the name.
No, it's just me. It's just me. Taking loads of
So
information.
it's a word pun, right? Because we're from the north.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
nomads, so we're also earthlings, we believe.
Yeah.
So
we wanted to combine all of those three words.
Yeah. It makes sense already.
Well, but what is our future? We don't know. We're trusting the universe.
Now we'll go to the US in a week, because my big sister is married to an American, and they have a wedding anniversary party over there. But that's just a short 1 week.
Yeah, it was really part of our plan, because we wanted to, travel around here in Asia. But now that we're doing that, we're making the best out of it. So, so we are going to stay on that side of the ocean, and we're going to go to Mexico afterwards.
For 2 months.
Or maybe
Christmas
2
and New
months.
Year's.
We haven't
Maybe
booked
longer.
anything after that.
As I met you, I was getting this feeling of Latin America.
Really?
Yeah, I was getting.
Wow.
But that's what I was getting. I was thinking, why am I getting Latin America with you two? But it was just like Latin America.
Because we're practicing Spanish now.
Hola, Mexico!
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. You don't know. Well, whatever the future is, it's exciting, isn't it?
It is.
It will be on the road. It will be taking in new experiences, coming up with new ideas, and just developing on our personalities and
I'm just
meeting new people.
very excited, because I know that good things are coming to us. It already has, and I don't think it will get worse from here. So
now you have a YouTube account as well, so tell me more about that.
That's true.
So that's like, we have different hobby projects, I think. So Instagram is really Jenny's big passion and thing, and she's really good at it. You should check it out.
I'm trying to anyway, at least.
And I think so. We both love editing video as well and film, and I really like the concept of like having interviews, just like you're doing. So for podcasting or vlogging, so that's something I'm trying to build up for us together with Jenny, of course. So we're trying to make travel videos from the destinations that we go, that are not like your average travel videos, but more like with suggestions, recommendations, and then very much also Q&As, talks about like different topics. And at some point I would like it to reach a stage where we can do podcasts as well, and interviews with people that we meet, get their stories, hear like what they have to offer, and inspire people. Yeah. So that is very early days for the YouTube channel. And
we only have 3 videos or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that'll take some time to build up,
Yeah.
but it would be immensely helpful if people, they go and subscribe to the channel so they can stay tuned, because it also has something to do with what kind of actions you can do on YouTube. So we need, like, for the first 100 subscribers, you're very limited. After you get 100 subscribers, and it unlocks some more options. So yeah, it takes some time to build up, but it's a lot of fun. Again, it's a learning process. We know that we're not there yet. We probably never will get. There's not a goal line.
It's
so
just
we're
something
just having fun
to
with
do.
it.
Yeah.
It is fun to do. It's really fun. Interviewing people, I think, for me...
You're really good at it. It's really nice.
Well, thank you very much.
Great host.
I love meeting people because I think people are so fascinating, and each of us has a story to offer, and that's the thing about life. That, you know, we can learn from people. You know, it's community building. I don't know what that's how you feel about life.
Yeah, but essentially, we already feel like we have friends all over the world, and like as said in Nepal, people are incredibly supportive, and just from meeting somebody for an hour, they offer you to come to their home, and next time you come visit, they'll take you to the Himalayas, they'll take you to Mount Everest, they'll take you wherever.
But I'm definitely going to Nepal. Just watch out.
It's just
Near you soon.
it would be a shame to limit yourself to one community. Obviously, some people like that, but we really like to have the idea that we have friends all over the world, and that people see us as their friends as well, even though we only met for a brief while. And I think we would definitely like to have you on our beauty show,
oh, wow,
so we can hear your story as well.
Yeah.
Because now it's just been us talking.
Yeah.
No, right? You're far more fascinating. Brilliant. Well, I've really enjoyed this. So
did we.
This is Nomad.
We'll have to put a text like Nomad Northlings.
Nomad Northlings. I'm really bad at this. This is me being very forgetful. But Nomad Northlings.
Yes. Correct.
That's it. I've got it right finally. So thank you very much, Kris and Jen. Thank you. And Terima kasih. And it's bye from me, and it's bye from Kris and Jen from Nomad Northlings. Yeah. Bye bye.
See ya.
That's it.
Thanks, everyone.